Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and I'm the Fool's Apprentice. And today is hashtag Saturday. I love Saturdays specifically for this reason because I get to go through YouTube's, I get to look at different hashtags, find one that really calls me, and then bam, I got a hashtag for Saturday. So today is a Valentine hashtag that was done this past year, but I like the hashtag, so I decided I would do it, and it is uh, Deck Crush or hashtag Deck Crush by Lisa Papez, Danny Mystic, uh, uh, Dawn Michelle, and Marlene Teresa. So those four ladies ended up doing the hashtag, released it all at the same time. And so I'm doing it today. So I'm going to flip. Oh, you won't believe what I almost did. So recently I did the Bohemian Tarot walkthrough, and that was a complete fiasco because I went through the whole thing and I didn't hit record, so I had to redo it. And I almost did the same thing with this one. So fortunately, I caught it. But I'm going to flip the camera over and we'll get started. And I'm back. So we're doing hashtag Deck Crush. And this is actually a really cute one because when I was watching Lisa Papez's walkthrough of each and every question, I thought it was really interesting the way they asked the questions and how to really think about the deck. So I went through all my decks, kind of scanned them, looked at the ones that kind of would fit, and picked one for each. And I believe I only have one. No, actually, that's not true. I have three Oracle decks in this whole section because they didn't say I had to be tarot decks. So I actually got some Oracle decks. So I have my old man glasses and I'm going to put them on so I can see the cards. Isn't that sad? So the first one is The Fling, a short period of wild times. And so it's an oracle deck. Some of you may recognize the cloth or and the string. I think it's really cute how this came in because it came with this. And this is Elizabeth on Earth. I love this deck. And when I first got it, I went crazy with it. I used it every day. I just couldn't wait to use it. It was a lot of fun using this deck. And I will tell you, I think I did a walk through this, or I actually put it in another hashtag. But when I first got this, even though it has a lot of female energy, um, it just felt very calming and very serene. I just love the use of color because you know how I am about color. My home is full of it. Um, I like the softness of how it feels. Um, and so when I saw it on Etsy, I just immediately knew that I had to have it. Isn't this a beautiful card? The ghost? That's stunning. And it there were three. It's actually three decks in one, and I know me. I know when I see something, I'm all in that I like. And so that's what this deck did. It just, I was very attracted to it. There was some major lust involved. I got the deck. I used it. Oh, I'm going a little fast. Sorry, guys. I used it, and for a while, I couldn't put it down. I just could not put it down. I just take it out of its cloth, and I just look at the pictures and just see what came up, and then I do my readings in the mornings for the day, and I usually use one oracle card and two tarot cards. And with this one, I just used it by itself. I just felt that it called me really, really hard. Isn't this an interesting one? And I played with it, and I just really loved it. I like the cardstock. It's different. It doesn't feel very luxurious, but it holds well. It shuffles like a dream. Um, and so after I got done with the initial excitement and passion for using it, it just kind of started. Again, I'm going way too fast. I just kind of started not using it as much, and I ended up putting it away, and I bring it out during the fall. Now look at that, but it shuffled well, um, and it just looks really beautiful together. It really does. So that is my fling, Wild Times. I think that's a very funny title for it because I'm like, can you have some Wild Times with a tarot deck? But I get the concept behind it, and it's really easy. You just wrap it up, you use the string, and this reminds me of like the old Western days where you had a horse and you just would wrap the harness around a log and you kind of like park your car there. And so it was a horse instead. Now, the next one is a, a puppy love, a deck with which you were infatuated but couldn't make long-term relationship with. Now, I ended up with a nameless one. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I gotta have it. And so I just was really obsessed with this deck when I saw it because I had these lofty ideas of what it was going to be like working with the deck and how exciting it was going to be. And it came with an oracle deck, which was even more exciting. And then on top of that, it had a Gilmore. I think that's called a Gilmore. It's a book. Oh, the Certificate of Authenticity. And so it has an oracle deck, and it gives you quite a bit. But I just loved the images. I thought we were going to have a long-term, beautiful relationship. And it came to be that, and I will tell you that I still think it's beautiful. And I'm not getting rid of it because I think part of the reason it was a puppy love deck that I loved is that I lost my train of thought. Okay. So one of the things that it fell for was the images. I love how muted the colors were. I thought it was so very unique. One of the things that I did like was just how ornate some of them are. It's such a stunning deck, the Hierophant. I know this is a Hierophant. um, but I need more time to learn the tarot for me to be able to use this deck. And so, just like Puppy Love, it came, it hit me hard, and then it just kind of went. I lost interest, and I think for me, the reason I ended up losing some of the interest was because this deck isn't very easy for me to read as of yet. I saw several walkthroughs of this, and I could see when they were explaining each card what card it was in the Rider-Waite Smith, but it still doesn't resonate with me the way I would like it to. So that for me is Puppy Love. I just felt really excited, and you know how Puppy Love is. It's very young and youthful and exciting, and you think it's gonna last forever, and then it doesn't. Uh, and the Gilmore book, which I think that's what it's called, is amazing. Look at this book. This book, look at that. I didn't even need the Gilmore, to be honest. I just got it because it came with, because I wanted it. That's it. I just wanted it. I don't need no main reason as to why I got it. I like to justify. Okay, and then the next one is Friends with Benefits, a deck you care about but sometimes are extremely passionate about. So I care about this deck a lot. It was the first deck that was ever on my unicorn deck list. I never knew if I was going to be able to get it. It's been out of print since the early 70s. Um, the gentleman who founded Mensa, it's those people who are super smart, um, ended up developing this deck. And it's the Royal Feza Moroccan. I'm glad I remembered the name of it because in my I was just like, uh-oh. Look at the. You can tell this is a 1970s kind of deck because of the back. But look how beautiful this deck is. I just love its simplicity. I like that the color palette is limited to, I think, 4 or 5 colors. Here we got a lot of them. We got the yellow, the red, the blue, the white, and I think there's one more. I'm not really sure. But what I like about this deck, it is just so simple. You can see the images. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, uh, but there's just something about this deck that really, when I saw it, really called to me. It was like my soul deck, and as you can see, they're drawn out with pencil, and then they're colored in. There's the green. So yeah, this one has 3 of the colors, but it's really, really beautiful. It's really easy to read with. Um, this is a kind of deck like when I need, like you go to your grandfather, your grandmother, or the matriarch or patriarch of the family, and you just need some really solid advice. This is what that deck is for me. It's when I really need to contemplate something and make a wise decision, a decision that can have a really deep impact on my future or on the outcomes of a decision that I make. And so that's what this deck does for me. And it feels a little waxy-ish, but not in an ugly way. I've shuffled this deck a lot, and it's kept its shape pretty well. This is an old deck. I think this was last published like in 1973, 74, if I remember correctly. I did some research on it, but my memory's horrible. I love I love this 5 because it's one of the few decks that, if not the only deck that I can recall, where they're actually looking in. Usually they're walking by, but here it's like they recognize that there is hope, even in the moment of hopelessness. And I just get a feel that this person here, for some reason, I think it's a woman, has gotten on her knees to pray because she believes that things can turn around if she has faith. Love that card. So this deck really friends with benefit, and then there are moments in time where I just want to use this deck for everything. I just get really, really focused about it. It really just draws me in. I become very passionate with it. No one's going to tell me like this deck isn't good for any kind of reading. Why am I going so fast? Jeez. Uh, Let me tell you, when I watch walkthroughs and somebody is just flipping, I'm like, oh my God, stop. I want to see the card. Um, oh, this is one of the few cards that has, this actually looks purple to me. So I think it's the only card that has purple. All the other cards are green, red, yellow, and blue. And this one has all of them. There's the blue, red, yellow, and the green. That's upside down. But I love that it has the black and white in the background and stuff. You get it just what's supposed to be very present is in color. And look at the water here. Isn't that beautiful? Gives you this real sense of treacherousness and calm. So yeah, I love this deck. I bought this bag specifically for this deck. I bought this bag on Etsy. I cannot remember who I bought it from, but it goes really, really well together. So the next one is Love at First Sight. And let me tell you, when I saw this deck, it took my breath away. As soon as I saw it, I did a deep dive on the internet to try to find it, and I could not find it. I believe they only made 900 copies. Let me open it up and we'll find out. Why is this like this? Okay, let me open it up and we'll find out. Like, look at the box. The box is beautiful, and I love the iridescent color. And I have never been able to pronounce this ever. I don't know if I ever will, but it's the Akulai Occultati Tarot. The Akulai Occultati Tarot. It's only been printed once. It was never printed again. The cards are huge. Yeah, 900. They only made 900 of this. I got number 840 of 900. It was done by Radamil Bogalowski. It's just a beautiful, beautiful deck. And I love the backs. I love the cardstock. This is one of my favorite cardstocks. I don't know what it is, but wait till you see the images. Oh. So the major arcana are black and white. Let me zoom in a little bit. The major arcana are black and white. And then all the minors have their own color. And I just love, what drew me to these are the elven-like people in them. Do I have them already separated by color? I think I do. Look at the green. Here's another 5 of Pentacles. And each of the, people, I'm going to call them people, are very, very different in each suit. So, like here, they have longer limbs. They're a little bit hairier than these. They show a lot more muscle. But they are beautiful, beautiful cards. I like the choice in color. I like that the colors are very powerful and prominent in the card. Look at that. This queen ain't playing around. And the major arcana are stunning. Look at this, black and white. And it just blows my mind how this artist was able to use a white and then just draw on it and create all this depth and movement. The composition is really, really nice. Look at all this. Look at the line work in this. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. Like, look at the teeth. I'm blown away. And this looks like it could be just a black hole, but you could see very clearly the horse's eye in it. Look at Temperance is amazing. And I like that it's male. Okay, another reason I really do like this deck, the Devil, is that it's a very masculine deck. And I just, there are times I see some beautiful decks, but they just don't have very much, or they don't have any feeling of masculinity or balance between female and male energy. And I have a lot of those decks because I just think that they're stunning, and I don't have an issue tapping into my feminine side, per se. Oh, look at that. Isn't that stunning? And so one of the issues that let me show you. When I got this deck, I didn't know, but it was trimmed. So as you could see, the card was originally this big. And then I bought it trimmed. And I don't care. I think it actually looks much nicer trimmed. So I was very happy with that. And when I got it, I did not know that it had been trimmed. The seller didn't tell me, but you know, I'm happy about it. And I found this from a person. They reached out to me and said that they actually had a second copy of this, and I'm like, someone has actually two copies of this? Wow. Because they don't. They're like I said, there's only 900 of them. I want to find the Fool. Um, oh, look at the Magician. Look at that Magician. I love it. Beautiful. And so I reached out, and I'm very, very cautious about buying things um, that I don't get from the creator or a store. Um, she answered all my questions, did everything I'd asked. And so I just took a leap of faith because this was not cheap. In fact, I think, it is the most expensive deck that I bought so far. I don't think the value is the most expensive of the decks that I have, but this is the one that I spent the most money on. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Uh, I love this shade of blue. I think it just works very well, and it's merman. Love it. But I want to show you the Fool because I love the Fool in this card. It's one of my favorite Fools. Where are you? The Wheel. Judgment. Oh, look at the sun. This sun is stunning. All right. Where are you? There. Oh, of course it's the last one. But I love this Fool. It has everything in it. It has the dog. It has the bag. It has the flower, the rose. It just has everything. I just think it's beautiful. The only thing that's kind of missing is the cliff. But, you can kind of see it in your mind. So this is the deck that I fell in love with at first sight. I mean, I fell in love with this deck. Literally fell in love with this deck. I have no regrets in purchasing it. It is a perfect deck for me. Well, is it the perfect deck? Okay, well, maybe not. But it fits me really, really well. This is a deck that will always be in my collection. This will never leave my collection. And so, yeah, super happy that this is in my collection. All right. So the next one is One Night Stand, a deck you tried out but moved on from almost immediately. Sometimes you think about it. I love it. I can think of a couple of people I dated like that. Okay, for me, it is the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed by Lalayani Simone. Okay, I'm going to have to go and work with this deck. But it's another deck that really requires a deep dive, I think. Because there's so much in the images to work with. Oh my gosh. Look how rich the colors are in this. And there is just so much information to draw from in each and every card. So this is a deck that I feel I really have to study to be able to use it to its full potential. Because, oh, look at this Sun card. Oh, another one that I really like. Because there is so much in each and every deck that you can pull from for a reading. I love this sense of family, and oh, it's beautiful. The Tower. And there's diversity in this deck, which I also really like. Look at the backs. Aren't those backs amazing? Oh, that could have been a card itself. So they have men in here, which I really like. Another man, but he's Native American. They have young women. They have pictures of older women, more diversity. And when I say older, I mean like back in the day, not old. Look at this Five of Wands. Oh, that's amazing. Like, oh my, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to pull this one out. I have it in my box for my spring and summer. Uh, oh my God, look at the cardstock is really good. It shuffles beautifully. So yeah, very one night stand. I think I used it like maybe 3 times when I first got it, and I haven't used it since, which is a shame because you could see it's beautiful. I just feel that there's so much information in each card that I just need time. But there always seems to be another deck. There's always another deck with me. There's always another deck. And so maybe that's one of the reasons. Oh, look at this gilding. Look at that. Oh my God. Best gilding, I think. But it's that shiny kind that I think will eventually start chipping. And so we'll end up seeing what that looks like. But yeah, definitely feels like a one night stand. I bought this on an impulse and I do not regret it. So the next one is we were on a break, a deck you separated from for any reason. And so here I have 2 decks because I used them together. They're mass market decks and they're oracle decks. The Mythical Shaman Oracle card deck and the Priestess of Light Oracle deck. These I use together and I use them during the fall and the winter. And they were on break and they just came out during the fall in September because I use them seasonally. So that's why they were on a break. And you'll see that they work really, really well together. They look really beautiful together. So, I mean, look at these images. They really, look at that. I mean, the combination is amazing. You know what? Let me do it sideways so you could see what it would look like if it was a 4-card spread. I mean, any combination is going to work. Any combination. The beloved, balance, stability, standing firm. You know, for me, it's like, how do you keep a healthy, balanced relationship? And it tells you here, maintaining your boundaries, stability, compromise, the crow, circle of eternal love, time and and look at the colors. They just work. Earth, just being very, very grounded with purpose and vision quest and finding your goals and working towards them. Magic and divine feminine. I'm sure there are a lot of y'all out there going, yes, that's a great pairing. And it is. It's a beautiful pairing. Like I said, I work with them in the fall. In fact, I have bought multiple copies of both of these and I have given them out as gifts because they just resonate so well and they feel. See, I tend to use oracle decks and tarot cards for spiritual growth, for learning how to be a better human being, learning how to be kind to others, learning how to be kind to myself, learning how to tap into the energy that makes me appreciate my life, which I do very much so. And so when I need to be grounded in my spirituality, when I need to feel the presence of something bigger than me, when I really need to tap into the best part of who I am as a human being, these are the decks that I bring out because they just ground me. They ground me in a way that feels comforting. Okay. So, and they're the same size. They're the same size. Look at that. Same size. The backs are different. I like these better than these. I actually don't like the backs of these, but that's okay. Get out of the way. So that is The Priestess of Light. Beautiful, beautiful. And the guidebooks for these two are really, really good. Where's the bottom? Okay. So this is the one that we were on a break. And it's mainly because of the fact that there was a change of seasons. So, and I'm going to put a link to all these, that even the ones that are out of print, I'll put the links. And this is the thing. Some people don't like the fact that you show out of print decks because of the fact that, then they're going to want them and they're not going to be able to get them. But this is my thing. I own several out of print decks because people did show them on their channel. And if they didn't, I would have never put them on my unicorn list. And I never would have had an opportunity to get them. And here I go, I got them. Now I haven't gotten them all. Okay, so the next one is the Marriage Material, a deck that has proven itself to you, has proven value to itself to you. And I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to many people. It is the Tarot Volatile. And I'm currently doing a deep dive on this with Michelle Doan's book, which I'm actually going to be doing an update on it. But, okay. This deck is so beautiful. This deck requires a deep dive for a couple of reasons. One is I'm still learning the tarot. And is this the best deck to use to study the tarot? A Rider-Waite-Smith deck for a beginner? Maybe not the best choice. But because I was so moved by this deck, because I am so drawn to the image, I decided that this is the deck that I wanted to do a deep dive in. Another reason I think this deck needs a deep dive is because of all the information that you could possibly pull from the image. And there's a yes card. And the guidebook is phenomenal. I just recently got the hard cover guidebook. Like the nicest guidebook I have ever seen. Ever. Full color images, descriptions of what's in the card. I mean, it's very, very beautiful. The card stock is stunning. Look, I mean, I don't know if you could see that the lines where it lets you know it's linen, but it's beautiful. It just feels very historic. It feels very earthy. Feels very, very grounded. This is a deck that just tells you how it is. It ain't going to pull any punches. It isn't going to be mean or rude or curt, but it is not going to whitewash any of the messages. Oh, look at that 5 of coins. Stunning. Beautiful. It's a deck that will tell you what you need to hear so that you know what to do to avoid an outcome that you wouldn't want, that is undesirable, or what you need to do to attain the outcome that you're hoping for. But I love this chariot. There's this great sense of movement with it. I like that the person is much bigger, letting you know that they have full control of where they're going, what they're going to do, how they're going to get there. I love that. And so this deck is Marriage Material. This is a deck that when I need to ask sensitive questions to, need to confide in, need to have a conversation with, an important one, this is the deck that will do that for me. I don't know if I saw the no card. I might have to go check. I don't know if anybody else gets paranoid. Like, I have my deck, right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, am I missing any cards? And I get really nervous thinking, am I missing any cards? And so then I have to go through the whole deck to make sure I'm not missing any cards. But I haven't done anything to like miss any cards. So that's kind of a, I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but that happens to me quite a bit. So the last one is Happily Ever After, Your True Love in a Deck. Now I'm gonna take a leap of faith here, and I think my Happily Ever After is the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. I I just got this deck. I've had it for a week. I opened it up on Tuesday, and I was so blown away with this. I got very emotional with this deck. This deck, like both these I think are on the same plane as for importance. Um, this is like a much more serious deck than this one for me. But the one that makes me smile a lot is the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. I'm telling you, like, if you could see the smile on my face right now, uh, oh my God, I love this deck. This is my happily ever after. Um, it makes me feel joyful. It makes me feel light and excited. I, I like right now, I am experiencing joy. I have this deck in my hands. I did when I first started tarot over a year ago. Um, I knew that they were out there and I could purchase a deck, but they were so expensive, and I just had to wait to see like because having seeing something on screen or on a computer in a video is not the same thing as when you get it in your hands. I've had other decks that I got that I thought were amazing on a video or on the website, and it was a complete dud. I have one in particular that I despised. And it was not because it was ugly or it just made me it was I had such a visceral reaction to it. I couldn't even like keep it out. And I've gifted it to somebody who absolutely loves it, and I'm really happy that somebody got it. And then I've had other decks where I was like, "Oh, I find this interesting. Let me get it," and it was like a really positive experience. But no deck made me feel super excited, over the moon, joyful, grateful, all at the same time as this deck did. There isn't really anything I dislike about this deck. I love the images. I love the quality of the images. One of the things that I really like is that how they use red throughout this deck. There've been a few surprises, like the Eight of Wands had a cute little surprise for me. Or was it the Fool? No, it was the Fool. The Fool had this little pop of red that I hadn't noticed at the beginning. I love the cardstock. I like the backs a lot. I also got the limited edition. I haven't opened it. I have no plans of opening it anytime soon. I don't know if I ever will. I have to see if it's something that I want to use because it's huge. But this is my happily ever after deck. Gosh. So this is going to be, as soon as I'm done with Terra Volatile, I'm going to do a deep dive with this one. This deck will never leave my shelf. I will use it year round. I will use it for all kinds of readings. I don't think it's a deck for shadow work only. I really don't. At least not for me. For some others it may be. But it makes me laugh. It makes me giggle. It makes, I mean, like, I wouldn't doubt that I'm not glowing right now going through this deck. I can feel the tension in my cheeks from the smiling that I've done throughout this whole deck. Definitely my happily ever after. It's like watching a movie, and at the end you're just so glad that you went and you saw the movie, and you're there with your date or your spouse or your significant other, and you're just much more affectionate. You want to hold hands, you want to get close, you want to cuddle. That is what this deck does for me. Happily ever after. Yes, this is that deck. All right, let me turn the camera around if I can get this in its box. And then I'll have some parting words like I usually do. Oh, I am so over the moon that I got this deck. And of course, I have to put everything up because that's important to me before I don't want to lose anything. Okay, so let me turn the camera over and I'll be right back. Okay, hashtag, hashtag Deck Crush. That was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy, one of the things I love about doing hashtags is it gets to me critically think, and I have to go all over my decks and review what I think would fit and wouldn't fit. And I get to pull the cards out and I get to look at them and I get to enjoy handling them and seeing the images in that moment. So that's one of the reasons I really like doing hashtags. But also, it's always really, really interesting to see what I choose. I was really surprised that I ended up picking some Oracle decks, which was completely unexpected for me. Uh, and so I really hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me what you think. Is there anything on my list that you thought would work for you, or were they completely different? Thank you very much for coming by. And until next time, my name is Benny, and I am the Fool's Apprentice. Bye.